How you going, guys? Welcome back to another video. On this one, I'll be showing you all how I achieved a color fade with 4 base coat colors with a color shift pearl on over the top. I'll be doing some voiceovers throughout the video at certain points. So with that said, guys, I hope you all enjoy this one and maybe learn something. With that said, let's get into it right now. Okay, just putting down my pure white. This is a profile base coat color, which is mixed 60-40 with a base coat reducer. I put 3 coats down until the bonnet was fully covered. Okay, just starting on the first red to do this fade. Now this color is called Hellfire Red. And I'm just trying to work out how far along I should take it to allow enough room for the other 4 colors I plan on putting on this bonnet. And what I'm trying to do here, guys, is leave a nice straight line on the right hand side without taking the color too far along. I didn't think about this beforehand or while I was doing this coat, but blending towards the right hand side with your colors is probably a bad idea because you can get a really light line down the panel. I do recommend not doing this and actually blending towards the left hand side if you're painting from left to right. If you're painting from right to left, then you would blend the color to the right. I think it's a really good idea if people are trying to do a fade like this. Instead of using 4 colors, actually use those 4 colors and mix them together to create a separate color to then use that progressively down the panel, instead of you trying to blend this rod red here into the Hellfire. If you were to mix the rod red and the Hellfire together, put that down first and then put down the rod red on its own over the top of the mix, then you should have a smoother transition between the 2 colors. I do spend a bit of time trying to blend these 2 colors into one another, so I think by mixing them both together, I would have saved a lot of time and made the blend transition a lot smoother. Alrighty, just starting on the third color. This is I guess the orange. Now, it was this color that I actually mixed in with the yellow, which is at the end. I mixed those two together before applying the yellow, and I found that I managed to get a good transition between the two last colors. Now, I'm not sure what I was thinking here. I was kind of in my own little world, just zoning out, thinking about how my next color is going to work, and I ended up putting down a real messy, uneven coat of this orange. So I do spend a bit of time here just straightening the edges up, fading this bonnet a lot easier. Yeah, it was just one of those things. I was more worried about my next step opposed to what I was actually currently doing. But I did, yeah, you can see here I've straightened that up and it doesn't look too bad. Now, there's two things that I would do differently if I was to ever try and do a fade on a bonnet or a car like this. Now, one would be using a slow base coat reducer with these solid colors. The reason behind that is, well, in the booth at the moment, it was roughly 26 degrees. Because there's a lot of blending going on, I ended up creating a lot of dry overspray on the bonnet, and it was really, really coarse and textured and really rough. Like, you couldn't use a tack rag over this panel because you would just end up transferring dust and fluff and lint and stuff off the tack rag onto this bonnet. So what I did think about doing is actually mixing up a FX Intercoat or a binder or carrier with a slow base coat reducer, and then applying that over the whole bonnet with a wet coat, trying to melt in that dry overspray caused from applying these colors in a dust kind of coat. There's a lot of dust coats going on here, a lot of dry blends going on. Try and blend out these 4 colors or 5 colors nice and evenly. The other way that I thought about doing this in the future is by, instead of, as I said, using a medium base coat reducer with all these colors, using a slow, and that should slow everything down. There won't be as much dry overspray going on the bonnet, and everything should all melt in together. So when I'm doing this lighter orange in with the yellow to give that kind of a sunrise burnt orange kind of look before I apply the yellow. It was this color here which I ended up getting a lot of dry overspray with, and what I found is that by putting down 3 nice real wet coats with the Color Shift Pearl over this whole bonnet using a slow base coat reducer, I managed to blend and melt everything in, and I ended up getting a much nicer job and fixing all of that dry overspray from trying to do this fade. Alright, time to do the last color here. Now, I was hoping to try and keep this yellow on that body line to try and hide the transition. Now, when I was comparing the color of the yellow to the red, kind of wanted to have the colors even across the bonnet. So what I ended up doing, in a minute you'll see in another clip, that I ended up taking that yellow more over that body line into the flatter side of the bonnet to match up with the red on the other side. And I also get another gun out and put the base coat which I'd mixed together, the orange and the yellow. I had 2 guns going at the same time, just trying to get this transition a little bit more consistent. onto the color shift pearl, mix 60/40 with a slow base coat reducer. As I said in the previous part of the video, I wanted to try and melt in the color shift into all the base coat colors to try and fix all the dry overspray which was caused from probably the heat and also using a medium base coat reducer. Now the color shift pearl of choice for this bonnet is actually called Pink Guava. It's one of the brand new color shifts from DNA Paints. They've probably only been out 2 weeks now, and I thought I'd give it a shot on this bonnet. One of the beauties about putting a color shift over a color faded bonnet or car is that if your blends or your fades of the solid colors are a little bit uneven, 9 times out of 10, I reckon if you were to put down, say, 4 to 5 coats of the color shift, you'll be able to hide any of those uneven blends that may have happened between all those base coat colors. Now, I ended up putting 3 coats down of this color shift over the bonnet because I was pretty happy with my fade. Probably the only real part that kind of stands out is the red into the orange, and I think that's due to the way that I tried blending it in the first place. But yeah, look, I ended up putting 3 nice real wet coats of this color shift pearl down, and then I did do a drop coat just to even out all the pearls. I didn't actually throw that in the video simply because my gun is actually out of camera view and you can't see the gun or my hand, so I left that part of the video out. Yeah, so 3 coats and a drop coat at the end, and then 2 nice real wet coats of the custom clear with the slow FX hardener. I wanted it slow so it flowed out and it would fix any orange peel that may have been on the bonnet from all the base coats and the pearls. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll leave you to watch the rest of the video. Hope you've all learned something maybe on this video and enjoyed watching it. I will be doing another color fading video in the future, but with other colors, more greens and blues, I reckon, and purples. But yeah, with that said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.